Hey world, it's me, your girl A, Miss A. I come to you today with my first video segment. So this is my very first video introducing myself to the world, as we all have a story to tell, right? So the hopes is that my story can help someone else, just like someone else's story has helped me in some way, form, or fashion. The title of the video is called Stop Looking Back. Conversations about life and how it unfolds. The purpose, the driven purpose behind this and behind that title is to empower, improve, and help in areas and aspects of one's life where they may be struggling at. Just a little about me. I am an avid reader. I absolutely love to write. Writing for me provides me an area that is judgment-free. It's a judgment-free zone for me. I can write about what's in the imagination. I can write what's factual in my life at the present moment. I love to capture the emotions as they come. I've taken up so much space on my phone because I have a daily ritual of waking up, of course, being thankful and, to whoever you look up to. For me, it's God, but being thankful for waking up and being afforded another day to open my eyes. So once I do all of that, then it's time for me to document what may have happened overnight, what I dreamt, what I think, my thought process, and how the day should unfold, right? So writing for me is a vital part of my life. Writing, reading, and talking. Talking helps me. It helps me grow. It helps me to see others or hear others' perspective or give my insight. So talking is a very vital aspect of my life. Here's one of my journals here. It's called Brilliant Ideas. That's the caption there. I received this journal back in March, I believe. March of this year. I was going through a transition, and a friend of mine, a very good friend who was near and dear to my heart, actually my best friend, she sent this to me. And I fell in love with it. But I have many journals, many journals, but this is, it's a nice one. I love it. It's beautiful. So stop looking back. What brings me to that conclusion? Why talk about that? There's so many things in the world to talk about, but stop looking back. I arrived at that title based on an incident or a series of events that happened in my life. The series of events brought me to that title. Now, in order for me to bring you up to speed, I have to go back. So now let's just tackle that title, Stop Looking Back. Looking back is not a bad idea if you're reflecting on where you came from to where you currently are, right? I mean, for some people, maybe, you were in a bad relationship and you got out of that relationship and now you're in a loving, caring, genuine relationship. So you look back at what you had to appreciate what you have, right? Does that make sense? Look back at what you had to appreciate what you have. That makes sense, right? But you don't ponder and stay back there, right? Because you appreciate what you have currently. For some, it may not be a relationship. Maybe it's a job. Maybe it's a job that you had where you started out in humble beginnings, making X, Y, Z, and now you have worked hard and worked up to making a bigger salary or promotion. So you look back and say, wow, I started there, but look at me now, I'm here. So reflecting back isn't always bad. I'm not saying it in that capacity, but physically stepping back and physically putting yourself in a situation that you have some type of indicator that it could be detrimental. So when I say stop looking back, that is what I mean. I mean in situations where you actually go backwards. You don't just glance. You actually glance, go back, touch it, feel it, stuff it, you just bring it back to life. That's what I mean. So stop looking back. Conversations on life and how it unfolds. So I just want to go back for a moment so we can come up to speed. I'm just going to give you how this whole idea came into play. So stop looking back for me took me to a gray area in life. And that gray area is still shaded gray, right? Because I'm still trying to bounce back. For me, I'll just give you a little backward story about myself. I was working at a job that was a nice career move, right? It checked off all the bells and whistles for me as far as, does it help me emotionally? Do I contribute in some way? Am I making the financial ends that I need? Do those meet? And all the answers said yes, right? Yes, yes, yes. This is great. This is a great career move. Go, do this, and it can open up doors that may have never been open. So I embark on this journey with this job, and it opened up doors that I didn't know that was possible to open. And it afforded me a lifestyle to do things my way, do things the way they should be done, in my opinion, And I did that. And I did that, and it was working for me and working for my family. And that's what makes sense, right? It has to work for you. It has to work for your family. Nice retirement plan, all of those things. So I'm there. And then one day I woke up and I decided this isn't working for me. I have no emotional connection here. It's not fulfilling for my life's purpose, right? It just doesn't work for me. So do I stay because financially it makes sense, but emotionally it's just not for me? I was torn with that decision. I said, okay, maybe I need to take a step back because it's just not working for the greater good, right? And I decided that I just wanted a change in scenery, a change in life. And I did that. I executed a move from East Coast to West Coast, right? I executed that move without a glitch. I packed up my life, the life that I knew for so long, and I said, you know what? Let's do it. I am going to allow myself to open up a gate that normally people just don't do that. You don't just leave a place where you're making XYZ to go to the unknown, right? But it seemed right. It felt good. Everything went according to how it was supposed to go. I didn't have one glitch. I cannot even say that is a decision that I regret, right? But there are always outside influences and outside influences and outside factors, right? And the word that I'm about to introduce now is a word that no one really wants to address. The word is vulnerable. Vulnerable. What does it mean to be vulnerable? I know my thought process, but I don't know what yours is. When someone says you're vulnerable, do you take that as a negative? You're vulnerable. Is that a negative or a positive? I thought about it for some time and I came up, I said, you know what, let me go ahead and look at what Webster says about being vulnerable. So I went ahead and looked at it. And vulnerable, as per Webster, states capable of or susceptible to being wounded or hurt as by weapon. capable. So that doesn't apply to just one person. That's anyone. Capable. Capable. Susceptible. That's for anyone. Those words don't discriminate, right? To being wounded or hurt as by weapon, right? So as I read on, it said the second definition was open to moral attack, criticism, temptation. Wow, moral attack, criticism, or temptation. Okay. I further read, open to assault, difficult to defend. Open to assault, difficult to defend. And I said, wow, this is really real. I think that when people on the surface, forget about the definitions, on the surface hear the word vulnerable, they automatically become defensive because vulnerable can equate to weak, right? And no one wants to be weak. We all want to say that we're super women or Superman and we're just these phenomenal people, right? On the surface. So on the surface, we're all phenomenal. But when you peel off those layers and you peel them off, do we all have some form of weakness or weaknesses? When you peel off the layers of the perfect job, the perfect facade, the perfect car, the perfect family, when you peel off some of those layers, do you get to the core? Is there a core? Yes, for all of us, there's a core. So I reflected on my own life because I have to speak about my own experiences before I can move into anything else. I have to speak on vulnerable and being vulnerable. So rewind. Remember I told you about the job that checked all the boxes for me, right? That I walked away from. So when I decided and I opened up to the people that love me and care about me in my core circle of friends or family, and I said, I am moving from East Coast to the furthest west that I can go. I became vulnerable. I opened up myself to be vulnerable. Because as per Webster, I was open to moral attack, criticism, and temptation, right? Definition 2. That is what fit into my mold when I expressed to the people that matter most to me that I was moving. I heard, why would you leave a job like that? Why would you move so far? What is the reason? Why? You don't know anyone there. What are you going to do? So I became open to those types of criticism. So what did I have to do? I had to defend my decision, right? I felt compelled to defend my decision. Yes, I know I'm embarking on a journey that is unknown and I don't know anyone there, but I'll adapt. I'll adapt to life as I see fit. See, the job didn't define who I was because I am who I am, period, whether I have that job or I don't. The core remains the same for me, right? The job can enhance maybe your social aspect, your emotional aspect of life, the physical. And physical, I mean, you can buy great things because you have the money, you can do great things. So the job can present that. But beyond that, then what? So emotionally for me, it was not fulfilling. It was not fulfilling a void that I felt so deep within. I needed more. There was something missing. And it was incumbent upon me to go and find that. I can't rely on someone else to fulfill that for me. No one is going to fulfill that for me. So I have to go ahead and do that myself. So again, I was open to moral attack, criticism, and temptation. Stay. You sure you want to do this? You sure? That could be positive and negative. But again, I open myself up to be vulnerable. The move is done. I have transitioned. I'm on a different time zone now. That's one thing that I had to adapt to. So life is moving forward. I get here without a glitch. My car is here. Everything goes on without a glitch. And I feel like life had just started at that point for me. So again, we're not looking back, but I have to take you back to get to where I am. And where I am right now, for me, it's not a good space. For me. I have been vulnerable for some time now. I feel that I've been vulnerable for some time. And when I say vulnerable, I'm not even speaking about the job capacity. I'm not even talking about the move capacity. Emotionally vulnerable. Emotionally. On the surface, I appear to have it all. Not have it all, but I mean, have what I need. I look the part, I can play the part, and that's what I mean by having it all. I don't mean that by any means that I'm rich and no, that I don't mean. I just mean when I say have it all, I mean the part. So with that being said, it brings me to the next segment of my story. The next segment is I'm here. I'm in the now, right? I'm here. And I'm just absorbing it all.